What up, everybody? This is a dab of everything, and this is a very serious topic to me, and especially these days. I have lost a stupid amount of friends to death, and I've lost a stupid amount of family to death throughout time and life. And this one we're going to be talking about specifically suicide. Even back behind me is was my drummer Jeremy Wilson's drum set, and July 3rd he passed away due to suicide, and he hung himself at a river. And but that's its own thing, and I've been beyond heartbroken since. And 4 days ago, just had another friend commit suicide, Colin Boyer, and I known him for about 3 4 years, and me and him met and got close at church. And yeah, he also hung himself. And I've lost about 5 or 6 friends in total to suicide. And so basically, in the end, simple as can be there for all of your friends. Even before I dealt with anybody in my life committing suicide, I've always been there for every single one of my friends I've ever had, period. And you can't take your friendships for granted. Cherish every moment you spend with every friend you ever have. Anytime they're feeling sad or mad, or they're acting strange or different or just out of the ordinary, hey man, what's up? You feeling good? They say, oh, I'm fine, man, but you can tell they're not. Be there for them. Let them know that you can tell that something's wrong, and that you can help them through it. Give them some advice. And not everybody's good at giving advice, but it's always worth a try. I mean, just telling somebody that you look really good today. You look better than usual today. I mean, that can make somebody's day, and it could potentially prevent a suicide from happening. Um, uh, and like all the way down to the point, with the basis of the fact that if you ever have a close friend pass away, and because a lot of people go through a personal guilt trip, and I've seen this a lot in people who's dealt with friends who committed suicide and stuff, and they're like, I could have done something. And you in the end, no matter what, you cannot ever blame yourself for anybody's suicide. um uh, yes, I believe if I would have went to the river with Jeremy, where he killed himself that night, because he wanted me to go, and I told him I couldn't because I had to go to work the next day. And I know for a fact if I would have went with him, he'd still be here today, and I would have kept his spirit up, and we would have had a good night. But in the end, I would have saved his life, and I would have never known. I would have came home like, yep, boring old camping trip with my buddy Jeremy, and I would have never looked back on it. And it's why you can't blame yourself for suicides. Period. If you've ever, for the people who's watching this who has gone through very very personal suicides, and like me with Jeremy, me and him been partners together in music for 5 years, and he'd been my drummer for my musical project Physical Emotion for the past two, all the way to the day he passed away. And even when you see the signs, uh, Jeremy's life was falling apart at the time of his passing, and a week, 2 weeks before he committed suicide, he dropped his drum set off at my house and said I was borrowing it so I could get some personal practice. And I was just so happy I was getting to hold on to his drum set for a while. I mean, I didn't bat an eye at it, and I mean that itself ended up being a huge sign. And here, before it was officially proven a suicide to the family and stuff, the moment I brought up that Jeremy dropped the drum set off at my house, they instantly, oh no, because that's all Jeremy did with his life, period, was play these drums 24/7, just like me with guitar. And he dropped those off at my house for a reason. And I guess in his head, it was his goodbye gift. I don't know, in his head, maybe leaving the drum set here made him committing suicide right. I don't know. And suicide in any scenario is so hard to understand because only that person knows what was going on in their head and what they did to themselves. And even when your friends or whatever showing signs of being super super depressed and possibly suicidal on the inside, not saying anything, you just don't ever think your friend will do it. And no matter how sad they get, in your head, it don't run through your head. We're young. Specifically my generation, we're still young. We're all in our early 20s, and you shouldn't ever have to even remotely think about what if my friend passes away, because we're still young. We're supposed to still have 60 more years, 70 more years on us. And I don't know, just everybody who watches this, be there for anybody you are close to in life or associate with in life. Even if you're not close with them, if you can tell somebody's struggling and you can tell nobody else is reaching out to them, you reach out to them and it'll make their night. And I promise you, and it doesn't take much. You don't have to say really deep stuff to get them in a better mindset, and like talking about it's okay, man, we're the universe, dude. We're the universe witnessing itself in multiple ways, and we're like a beautiful fragrance in the air that's floating away and slowly fading away through the time, blah 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 blah, and it doesn't just fucking, you're gonna be okay. I love it when you smile. I have great times with you. Let's go make more memories together. Just say random little things like that to people who are down, and it will bring them up. I personally went through depression from absolute hell for 5 years of my life. Went through a super bad road, and I know how depression works. And it's not hard for somebody to bring you up. Somebody can come up to me and say that I dress nice and I look good, and it'll just put a big smile on my face. Somebody can tell me, hey Joe, you're a good person, you know that? Make my day. So in the end, be there for all your friends, because once they're gone for good, and there's not a damn thing you'll ever be able to do about it, and you won't ever even be able to go back to spend just 5 more seconds with them. And it'll be so sudden, and suicides can really emotionally fuck a lot of people up, and it can cause chemical reactions to other people committing suicide due to not being able to handle the other person committing suicide. And it's just such a sad thing. And suicide in the end, no matter how bad life gets, and yes, it can get so fucking bad on every level, just keep your head up. No matter what bad happens, you'll still have plenty more smiles and laughs to come after, even if you don't take it in. But you guys have a good day.